What is up, guys? So got a big pop with Litecoin. If you saw that, hopefully you were in on that play and hopefully you stacked enough. Really thought we were going to get Bart Simpson here, get a little bit better buy points to stack more, but whale came in and it looked like it popped clear up past 90. So anyway, guys, keep you updated on that. But if you go back in my videos, I've been talking about that play since June of 2022. So like and subscribe, keep following for these updates. Better be in sooner than later. Dollar cost average in. There's always a feeling that you've never bought enough. There's not enough Litecoin, not enough Monero, not enough Bitcoin, so on and so forth. So anyway, guys, hopefully it's going well by that. We've had some of these winter storms and stuff like that. Obviously the energy cost and the food cost is eating people alive. Seen various different things. Obviously, we know that inflation is way beyond 7 or 8%. And there's, certain calculations say 17%, but, we can sit there and say upwards of 25 to 30%. So hopefully you guys are dealing with that okay and able to weather the storm. Obviously, we had the real estate crashes, and mainstream is picking up more on this as well. But, in the Bay Area, according to some data, some of the stuff has fallen 30 to 35% in places like San Jose. Obviously, Seattle's going to get hit hard too with some of the tech presence there. So a lot of these companies laying off people. So hopefully you're able to secure yourself and ride through, at least hopefully to the summer, where you can grow some food, have at least a little micro garden. Some people are obviously growing under lights, but in the Midwest, obviously it's too cold to necessarily grow outside. Even if you have a decent greenhouse setup, that can be kind of tough. So hopefully you guys are making it through that. Now, a couple other things to mention. I saw a post, and I love these posts where people travel around, and it really kind of bridges that gap mentally of different places you could go, different places you could experience, and maybe even live there. One guy who was on Instagram, and I guess he's got a pretty big following on TikTok as well. He was over in Bosnia, and he was renting a place that was like a really nice place for like 350 bucks a month. And I thought it was interesting because a lot of the comments in the section below were people who were from Bosnia, and they were all mad about him, like, you're just driving the prices up, we can't even live in our home city, so on and so forth. But realize if you're from Bosnia, or you're from, it could be Bulgaria, Hungary, Serbia, it could be any of these places where it's relatively cheap for us, it could be Mexico as well. The same thing is happening here. People that live in Miami, people that live in Phoenix, people that live in Tucson, people that live in Austin, Texas, the locals there really can't afford the housing the way it is currently, and so a lot of times they kind of get forced out, and people in Miami, so they might have to move up, and it might be they go up to Georgia, maybe they go up to Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, go to different places and stuff where it's more affordable. So the same thing happens elsewhere. It's not that somebody's trying to like necessarily force you out of your position. It's just all relative. And what we've got going on here is there's so many immigrants and refugees flowing into the United States, millions upon millions upon millions, because even at the southern border, they were saying that there was 250,000 people that they had contact with in just December alone, which, there's more people coming across the border, and there's a lot of people coming in as refugees from places like Burma, Thailand, obviously Ukraine, these various different places. So it's really hard to say how many people have came into the United States. Obviously the birth rates have collapsed and all that kind of stuff. So the only way that the population is increasing, like I've said before, is through this immigration. And I think that all in all, partially like obviously the government knows that the system is a Ponzi, so Social Security is not even going to last 10 years. And so they think like, well, if we get more people in and they're pumping into the Social Security system, they're pumping into this other system, population has to grow to perpetuate itself. This is obviously going to be a growing problem. Places like China, places like Japan, obviously, Italy, various different aging populations. And then the remaining countries and the remaining states in a country like the United States are going to fight over the remaining population. Now, another thing I want to talk about, and this is obviously a lot more serious because, obviously we want our freedom of speech. We want to have our freedoms that people think that they have in the United States, which is becoming more and more so that's not the case. And it's like we're living in Soviet Russia, and shout out to Rules for Rebels for cluing me into this story because I wasn't necessarily up on it. You mentioned Project Veritas. Basically listed, they put up a video where they have one of the Pfizer employees here recently that basically mentioned to modifying the virus so that they could then create the solution to it conveniently. And obviously, like I've been telling you guys for a long time, the whole COVID vaccine thing, biggest scam, biggest money grab the world has ever seen, huge scam. So that being said, crazy video then that came out. Well, so YouTube took down that original video, which is insane, and they gave him a strike. Obviously, censorship once again. Soviet Russia. I guess we're living in very, very weird, very strange. And then the next video came out was when they confronted the guy, and he just starts tripping out. He starts to grab the iPad. He's fighting with them. He tries to lock them in the building, stuff like that. Like I said, Rules Forever include me in on this. So shout out to him. Go follow his channel. And it's one of the craziest videos I guess I've ever seen. And it's one of those things that's getting censored and getting swept under the rug. The only mainstream media that's really covering it for the most part is Fox. And obviously you have a lot of independent content creators responding to it, and stuff is up on Rumble and stuff like that. But it is a fight for freedom of speech. The vaccine was a scam. Obviously, more people are injured by that than the actual virus itself, which that's lab created most likely. So we got a major issue. Anyway, guys, overheating.